Hello, I am Super Orange Cat here. I'm today with a Toonami news update for today, April 27th, 2021. First thing to cover is Toonami's ratings for this past Saturday, April 24th, 2021. Before we start at the top of the block, I want to briefly mention Final Space at a 0.16 this week. And now, back to the start of the block. At the start of the block, we have Dragon Ball Super at a 0.18, Attack on Titan at a 0.17, Food Wars at a 0.15, The Promised Neverland at a 0.13, Fire Force at a 0.13, Black Clover at a 0.13, Naruto Shippuden at a 0.11, and Demon Slayer at a 0.10. Overall, this week was a step in the right direction in terms of ratings. Overall, I think every single show went up at least a smidge, with most shows going up exactly 2/100ths of a point. So pretty consistent increase across the block. I was a little surprised by this considering this was a UFC week, and historically, UFC has shown to take ratings away from Toonami even during pay-per-view nights, like this past week was. So I'm a little bit surprised by the fact that we increased in ratings based on that. But what I found interesting is Attack on Titan for the longest time seemed to be stuck at exactly a 0.15. It went up to 0.17, so it's budging the right direction. I believe we have one more episode before the half season finale of it here on Toonami. And then again, after that, really, you can't say much about other shows because I think everything just kind of went up by the same amount. So it's not like you could point to a specific show and say, this show did so much better than this show did week to week, you know? Only thing I could think of top of my head is that you might not see it from the hundredths pile here, but Black Clover actually did very slightly build on Fire Force. So Black Clover returning of its tradition of building on the show in front of it, you know. One of the two shows that notoriously do that around here, the other being Naruto. So interesting to see that. And Black Clover, I believe next week, maybe the week after that, gets back into canon. So might even go higher from here. That show is a show I'm really bullish about in the short-term future here on Toonami, you know. And really, other than that, you can't say anything particular. I guess you could point at the Promised Neverland, say it went up to a 0.13, up from 0.11 last week. And this week is the week where it apparently starts to deteriorate in quality. And I'll admit, I've been kind of spoiled to what happens in parts of next episode. I'm not going to mention them here, obviously, but I could definitely see why people say it starts getting really bad next week. Damn. But again, and that's really the not much to really cover about the news, about not the news, about the ratings, other than it did better this week, you know. And another notable thing to point out that happened this past week is we've got a new cartoon, actually Adult Swim schedule that came out effective, I believe, next week. So I believe starting on on Monday, May 3rd, we're going to have a new Adult Swim schedule for weekdays. And what was interesting about it and what connects to Toonami here is what's the 5 o'clock hour? Actually, a couple videos ago, I made a reference saying, way back when we had Inuyasha at 5 in the morning. That was interesting. Well, we're getting anime at 5 in the morning again. We actually are going to get Naruto Shippuden at 5 a.m. and Samurai Jack at 5:30. I find this to be interesting. I believe this is part of a ploy to find things to replace the gap that will be left by Family Guy and Bob's Burgers when those leave Adult Swim in the fall. So it'll be interesting to see how those do. We had this happen with Attack on Titan, with My Hero Academia not that long ago. It didn't last that long, so maybe this does a bit better. And other than that, the last piece of news is Mugen Train, the Demon Slayer film, having the second, being the second highest grossing film this week in the U.S. at a bit over $21 million. As a benchmark, that is about 3 times as much Broly did opening weekend. It's way more than either My Hero Academia movie did either weekend. And it was barely second by the slimmest of margins behind Mortal Kombat for #1 in the box office. And again, like I mentioned before, this film is currently the highest grossing film in Japanese history. It'll be interesting to see how that does on American cinemas. And it's already got a good start. So what do you guys think? What's your opinions on these ratings, on Shippuden and Samurai Jack being on the regular Adult Swim schedule, and on Demon Slayer Mugen Train success so far? Leave your comments, your opinions below. I like reading them. I am the Super Orange Cat, and that is all.